Hi, my name is Mathieu Lefebvre, and today in my video I'm going to talk about the project I have since a few years, which is start my own business. Since I love sports, I want to open a sports store. To own my business means to be a manager, and to be a manager means to be organized, and I need to be also a good leader. To explain how management is important in my life project, I am going to relate it to a few chapters we have covered this year in our management course. What I want to do with my sports store is to get some competitive advantages. Why? Because it is very hard to enter this market since a lot of companies already have a strong brand image like Entrepôt du Hockey or Sport Rousseau. Uh, I have think about export my products internationally since no company in this market in Quebec have done this before. I could easily use the help of eBay or create a website to make it happen. So my outline, I'm going to talk about the trade barriers, the subsidies, motivation, the basic of motivation, performance, and also rewards, and I'll show you a quick video. Uh, if I want to do international business, I need to be aware of the difficulties I may face. Trade barriers, tariff, and protectionism are three difficulties I need to know if I want to export my products abroad. Trade barriers are government-induced restrictions on international trade. The barriers can take many forms, including tariffs. Most trade barriers work on the same principle, the imposition of some sort of cost on trade that raises the price of the traded products. A tariff is a tax on imports or exports, an international trade tariff, and protectionism is the economic policy of restraining trade between states, countries, through methods such as tariffs on imported goods, restrictive quotas, and a variety of other government regulations designed to allow fair competition between imports and goods and services produced domestically. In other words, I need to know these laws for each country, since if I export my products in this or this countries, I may need to pay taxes or fees which will decrease my profit on my sales. So for example, if I sell 10 hockey sticks and I don't know Russia, I need to be aware that maybe I could get some taxes, so I may need to increase the cost of the sticks. So like I said previously, there's a lot of restrictions, and these are others that I could face. I included some in my video just to show you that there's a lot. So you have quotas, voluntary export restraints, government important standards, government subsidies, customs valuation, classification. So now I want to cover a part that I could call the most important part, how I plan to manage my company. I really think that employees need to be managed by a good leader, because the majority are not able to work independently, so you need to tell them what to do and how to do it, but you need to do this in a good way. You need to be persistent on your employees, motivate them, they need to be motivated to feel they are important for the company. You show them the good direction to take, and your goal is you want your employees to become independent and efficiency. This is what brings me to the next important things that always motivate employees: rewards. For people to be satisfied with their job, they must be happy with what they have. Some employees are perpetually dissatisfied, forever thinking they should receive higher pay or more favorable working hours. Others are quite happy with their situation since they are not working at a less desirable job. Management can facilitate work satisfaction by making employee expectations line up with the job. Workers who knows that others may significantly more money for a similar job descriptions are likely to be dissatisfied because they don't feel they are valued as highly as the other workers. So there's two different sorts of rewards that exist. They are extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic motivation occurs when we are motivated to perform a behavior or engage in an activity in order to earn a reward or avoid a punishment. Examples of behaviors that are the result of extrinsic motivation include studying because you want to get a good grade, cleaning your room to avoid being reprimanded by your parents, participating in a sport in order to win awards, competing in a contest in order to win a scholarship. And each of these examples, the behavior is motivated by a desire to gain a reward or avoid a negative outcome. Intrinsic motivation involves engaging in a behavior because it is personally rewarding, essentially performing an activity for its own sake rather than the desire for some external reward. Examples of behaviors that are the result of intrinsic motivation include participating in a sport because you find the activity enjoyable, solving a word puzzle because you find the challenge fun and interesting, playing a game because you find it exciting. In each of these instances, the person's behavior is motivated by an internal desire to participate in an activity for its own sake. Workers who have intrinsic motivation to get the job done are often highly satisfied workers. Intrinsic motivation is the kind that comes from the inside rather than external factors such as raises and incentives. When an employee gains satisfaction simply through performing her work, it's a sure thing the job is a good fit. For example, a social worker has high satisfaction on the job because helping people feels good to him, while a salesperson enjoys the social interaction that comes with approaching customers and providing them with information about the product. So in my case, with the salesperson, like I said, it could be only to enjoy the social interaction, but the majority will need to have a compensation, like maybe a commission. So, for example, if you sell this kind of goalie stuff, you can get 10% of the final price. So, example like this. So, you need to reward your employee if you want to keep them motivated to work for you, or the market is so high today that they will go elsewhere. So you need to take care of your employees. And I want to show you a quick video that we have seen in class, which was called the candle experiment, that I found very interesting, and that explained very well the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic rewards, how people react when money is in the equation. So let me show you 1 minute of the video. Sorry about the time.
Problem. Now, I want to tell you about an experiment using the candle problem done by a scientist named Sam Glucksberg, who's now at Princeton University in the US. This shows the power of incentives. Here's what he did. He gathered his participants and he said, I'm going to time you how quickly you can solve this problem. To one group, he said, I'm going to time you to establish norms, averages, for how long it typically takes someone to solve this sort of problem. To the second group, he offered rewards. He said, if you're in the top 25% of the fastest times, you get $5. If you're the fastest of everyone we're testing here today, you get $20. Okay, now this is several years ago, adjusted for inflation. It's a decent sum of money for a few minutes of work. Okay, it's a nice motivator. Question, how much faster did this group solve the problem? Answer, it took them on average 3.5 minutes longer. 3.5 minutes longer. Now this makes no sense, right? I mean, I'm an American, I believe in free markets, that's not how it's supposed to work, right? If you want...
So, like I explained, the two types of rewards are very different and you need to deal with it. So, once you know them and once you know how to use it, it can be a very powerful tool for your company. So I'm very glad to have learned more about the two types of rewards, because sometimes you can reward employees by thinking that they will perform better, but that's not true. They just gonna be the totally opposite. So I'm very glad to have learned more about the two rewards, and like I said, I could use it in my sports company. I just want to finish with a little graph that shows well what I have explained through my video, which is effort and performance brings to intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, while you need satisfaction to motivate people. So they are the basics of the motivation. So my works cited: the MGMT 2014 Canadian edition, a couple of internal links, and my video on YouTube. So in conclusion, be a manager of my company will be a good challenge to me, since there's so many things you need to consider and be aware that you need to be very organized if you don't want to destroy everything you have built as a manager. And I think it's a good challenge for me, and I really want to do it. And I think that the theory we have seen in class was directly related to the real world and prepared us very well to what's coming next for my future job. And I'm sure there are some things we have seen in class that will help me, because there are some tools I wasn't aware of, like I told you, the rewards. So yeah, I'm very happy of the theory we have seen this year. Thank you. It was Mathieu 5.